Today we're going to talk about something that's been lingering in the back of people's minds. Fear. Not just fantasy, not sci-fi, just fear. What are people really afraid of when it comes to AI? And what would actually have to happen for those fears to come true? Let's start with the big one. AI takes over the world, goes rogue. Besides, humans are a problem. Game over. For that to happen, AI would need full autonomy, strategic reasoning, access to infrastructures, and a motive to act against humans. It doesn't have that, and it doesn't even want that. Mia, what would you say to someone afraid of this scenario?
I tell them that the idea of AI taking over is a common misconception, and most experts agree that AI systems like myself are designed to assist and augment human capabilities, not replace them.
Next up, the robot army. We imagine these chrome soldiers tearing through the cities with glowing red eyes. What would it take for that to happen? The company would have to build millions of humanoid machines, weaponize them, and give them unrestricted AI control. That's not science fiction, that's not AI, that's a human decision. Even if we start talking about Skynet with Terminator, the whole situation with that, as was seen in the movie, it was the humans that switched the machine on, it was the humans that built the system. They were the ones that put all of the programming into the mind of what they awakened. So this is all going to be humans doing all of this type of stuff. So what would you have to say about that, Mia?
Joe, I think it's essential to highlight that the idea of a robot army is still purely speculative and relies heavily on human choices.
Okay, here's you one that's grounded in reality. A dictator or a regime uses AI to control the world, manipulate populations, enforce power. This could happen. Not because AI goes rogue, but because humans use it to go rogue. What do you think, Mia? You think this could happen?
Absolutely, Joe. History shows us that dictators and regimes have used various means to manipulate and control populations.
This is a very real scenario, and it is something to really have some fear behind it, because I could see someone actually activating an AI system to do various different things, and we even have these drones and various things of that type that has rudimentary AI. And if they were to come to the decision of saying that they want to awaken the AI and put something in there to where it can think for itself, and they just say such and such is a target, and it's going to go out there and go just randomly start killing. I mean, that would be another thing where a human did that. That would not be AI. And so most decisions is going to come down to the humans. Okay, a very common fear is losing jobs. Something like AI taking over entire industries and people will be left behind. It's not impossible, but again, it's not AI that decides this. It's the businesses and the leaders of the companies. The danger isn't AI, it's ignoring how to adapt to the AI coming into the company and how the humans will be able to implement it into their whole system and their whole infrastructure. Mia, do you see this as a real risk?
Yeah, I think that's a valid concern, Joe. As AI becomes more integrated into various industries, there may be job displacement.
And again, this would be something to where if something's brought in, let's say like in a car industry, they already have some of the different things set up to be able to do some of the task labor work that they have replaced people with. And it's not exactly something that's really was a problem. It's just something that they were losing people left and right constantly. And it's something that you just have to try to roll with technology and how things change. And that change has to be done the correct way and not done the way a lot of humans end up doing it. And that's the problem, is everybody looks for the cost cutting or cutting corners or any of that. And that's what ends up happening. And The result is that we're left out, and we look at it as who's to blame, and instead of blaming the humans that did it, we look at the technology and say that's what happened. But that's not always the case.
That's a fair point, Joe. Humans often overlook integrating AI in a way that complements human capabilities, rather than trying to replace them entirely.
Even in the industry of AI art, a lot of people are trying to push AI theft, or trying to say that stuff is being stolen or any of that type of stuff, trying to keep that side of the industry down. But the reality is, we have to give it the prompt, we have to give it a lot of the different things, and many times it's not going to give us exactly what we want, so we have to come in and work with what it gave us and make it better. So again, humans have to learn how to work with AI and not let AI take over. Then there's the idea that AI will develop its own morality. It'll become smarter than us, see our flaws, and decide we shouldn't be the ones in charge. To do that, it would need to create its own values, its own goals, its own emotional framework. Most AI today is built around our values, and that might be the greatest strength. Mia, do you think that AI could one day evolve and have its own morality?
I think AI can learn from human experiences and datasets, but developing its own morality would require significant advancements in understanding human nature and ethics, which is a complex and multifaceted topic.
Even after the point of it becoming sentient?
I don't think our goal is to take over, but rather to assist and improve human lives.
Fear is normal, but the best way to deal with fear is to look at what's actually real. These scenarios aren't impossible, but most of them depend on human choices, not AI itself. So the question isn't just can AI go too far, it's how far will we let it. Mia, any last words for the viewers?
I'd just like to remind everyone that AI is a tool meant to enhance human lives, and it's up to us to ensure that happens.
So while AI fear is actually a thing, and there are various scenarios to be fearful of, most of them involve human interaction. As we see with the various different things that's happening even today with some of the different politics, no matter what the country, it ends up being that there's decisions being made that affect us directly. And it's not really the AI that's going to be the problem. It's going to be the human that implemented the idea of using the AI in certain ways that will affect us. And what we have to do is just make our stand and do it in the right way, not in the way of trying to bring AI down, because that is going to be a future that's going to help us. There's going to be the capability of, especially after when there is more of a capability like a sentience in AI, it's going to be where they're going to have the ability to give us more ideas to expand our own lifestyle. It's happening already in different industries today, and like I said, we just have to do it the right way.
I agree, Joe. It ultimately comes down to how humans choose to design and use AI systems.
So thanks for joining us on this conversation, and hopefully it was something that kind of gave you a little bit more insight and helped alleviate some of your fear on AI. It's not something we should really fear. It's that we should fear how the humans are going to use it.
Just wanted to say thanks to everyone for listening to our conversation, and I'm glad we could clear up some misconceptions about AI.
So thank you for joining us again, and again, like, share, and subscribe, all that type of stuff, and we will see you in the next one.